It looks like it, yeah. New World Computing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, I remember their moving logo.
That's right. They're like Universal with the globe, and then just a giant
Yeah,
sword comes
exactly.
in and stabs it.
Yep, that one was pretty cool.
Heroes 3 complete. Alright, guys, welcome to our first video gameplay feature for Gaming Retrospective. That is a series that we do on the site where we look at classic gaming and just talk about how well it holds up today and its relevance in history, really, looking at just really great games. And this week, I took it upon myself to look at Heroes of Might and Magic 3, because today, in fact, being February 28th, 2014, marks the 15-year anniversary of the release of Heroes of Might and Magic 3, which is crazy and makes me feel really old.
As it should.
Yeah, I guess so. By the way, I am the PC editor for Leviathyn, Eric Watson. Follow me on Twitter at Rogue Watson. And joining me here today to help reminisce about Heroes 3 is my dear friend and fellow Leviathan writer, Mr. Chris Renner, at Serial Viewer on Twitter. Thank you for joining me, Chris.
Hola. My pleasure to revisit a game that has eaten hundreds of hours. I don't know.
You know, I
Lots of
don't either,
hours.
and I mentioned that in the
Who knows?
retrospective. Yeah, they didn't have Raptor or Steam or things that tracked hours back then. I have
Yep.
no clue if it was dozens or hundreds or what kind of hours I spent in some of these games, but I guarantee you, Heroes 3 is up there.
Eric, we didn't have jobs or families or anything.
Lives.
Yeah, or lives. It's gotta be hundreds, because we didn't do anything else back then.
I think especially if you added up Heroes 2 and 3 for me, it would probably be
Yeah.
hundreds, because I bought Heroes 2 when it. Yeah, funny story actually. I got Heroes 2. I asked for the original Heroes of Might and Magic. I found it like an old wrinkled magazine of PC Gamer. I was like, this looks like the coolest thing ever. These two screenshots just dazzled my mind. And I asked my parents for it for Christmas. And I got Heroes of Might and Magic 2. That's how out of date my magazine was. I had no idea there was a sequel. So I got it when it was new. It actually came with a copy of Heroes 1. Cool, interestingly enough, so I got to play both of them. And I remember that Heroes 2 expansion, The Price of Loyalty, was the very first expansion I ever acquired for a game. Price of Loyalty expansion, which was... And Heroes 2 came out in like 96. So Price of Loyalty was probably either later that year or the next year. And Heroes 3 didn't come out till 99, so I was jonesing for this sequel, I remember. This was definitely a day one, like, holy shitballs, going crazy about this game. And yeah, I dumped a lot of time into it. For those of you that aren't familiar, I don't know why you're watching this video, but Heroes 3, the Heroes franchise is a spin-off of Might and Magic, which was an RPG series. I guess it's technically still going on now. They just released Might and Magic 10 Legacy on Steam, which is a continuation of the series that started back in like 87 or something with the original Might and Magic. Very old, original, just fantasy RPGs that were first-person and party-based, and like even before Elder Scrolls and shit, like they were very like open-ended, lengthy, badass RPGs that were always like a generation behind graphics-wise. So by the time we got to like the 3D ones, they really looked like ass towards like the late 90s. But back in the Heroes, when Heroes was first coming around, especially Heroes 2 and Heroes 3. They were awesome. They were pretty popular, and in fact, Might and Magic 4 was one of the very first PC games I ever played. But Heroes is the spin-off of that series and became more successful based on the King's Bounty games, also made by New World Computing in 1990. King's Bounty. And Chris, I think you played that King's Bounty game.
I did. That was a fun game. It was like super basic version of Heroes, and you could break the game with ghosts. You could absolutely just break the game
It's a nut.
because
Too balanced.
Because not too balanced at all. It was terrible.
But fun fact, they also rebooted the King's Bounty franchise in 2008. The brand was purchased by a Russian company, and they made King's Bounty: The Legend, which is a fantastic game. Actually, it's very Heroes-esque, but instead of having like different maps and campaigns and replayability, I mean it kind of does, but it's like one giant like 50-hour campaign of
which is kind of the way the first King's Bounty was. It was just
right.
It wasn't a campaign. It was just one big world map.
It's one big
map.
Walked
around.
Yes, yeah, that's how the new ones do. I mean, it is different than Heroes. The combat system is very similar. It kind of has like a hex grid and you fight guys, but yeah, the actual overland map concept's a lot different. And I mean, the Heroes series is still going on as well. Like Ubisoft, 3DO went bankrupt in 2003, I believe, shortly after Heroes 4, which was not a good follow-up. It wasn't bad, but they just changed a lot of stuff. They irritated a lot of fans, and it was very rushed. It was a very
terrible
rushed.
Splitting unit mechanic.
Yeah, yeah.
Awful.
Like heroes could suddenly fight. Like it changed a lot of stuff, and not necessarily for the better. You had to choose between like different creature tiers and all that.
And probably worst of all, it had a shitty 3D art style.
Yeah, it wasn't even fully 3D, but it
just
just had that 3D art style, which was like the worst of both worlds. So it just looks terrible. And games like that don't hold up, whereas Heroes 3, I think, holds up really, really well. We'll see that in a second. I've already been talking for a while.
Sprites always hold up.
Yeah, I agree. Like, you can go back to that era easily, especially if you went through it. I think it might be weirder.
Right. It's even easier. Yeah.
If you actually grew up with that era, but. Hopefully the music isn't too terribly loud, but I actually really love this music though. If you get the game on GOG, which I totally recommend, Good Old Games, they've got the Heroes 3 complete. That's actually what version I'm playing now. You can get the soundtrack. It should be included in the game, and it's really good.
There's some music that I still have, like, that I play now.
And I think
the Necromancer theme.
Yeah.
I don't have a family or a house, but if I had a family and a house, there would be a speaker outside my door during Halloween, just on a loop. The Necromancer theme.
That's exactly what I do. Only it's part of a playlist of different songs. But that one and the Inferno Town, and actually
Inferno Town's great too.
And actually just the overall like evil theme. There's like a good and evil theme that play in the background sometimes. Yeah, those actually all make really good. The Necropolis one is fantastic. It's got those violins. I think the Heroes 2 soundtrack
those violins are great.
Is actually slightly better because it's got some nifty like opera singing and stuff.
It does, yeah.
So Heroes 3 has a ridiculous amount of content here, especially once you get to the Heroes 3 complete version, because you've got an insane amount of campaigns you can play. Obviously, this comes with all 3 expansions. The base game had 5 campaigns, it looks like. 1, 2, 3, no, 6, I can count. 3 that just covered like the main story of the campaign. And then Armageddon's Blade added another 5 campaigns.
Right.
And Shadow of Death added another 5 campaigns. 6 campaigns. 6. Wow. And each of those campaigns is like probably between like 5 and 10 maps, and each map takes a while. So
yeah.
If you like turn-based strategy games, man, this is your jam. And good multiplayer. You can play Hot Seat, which just means everybody takes turns on the computer, like a little digital board game or something.
Yeah.
I remember doing that.
Did we ever actually complete one of those games, though, was my question. I
Probably
don't remember.
Not. Unless you try to play like a small or medium map.
Yeah.
And that's all you did? Like hanging out together?
Right, yeah. It's kind of the equivalent of doing Hot Seat Civ 5 now. Like, you can do it.
Yeah.
You will never finish what you start, but
what they need to do, just have Heroes 3 and give me a like a play-by-email style. It's like asynchronous, like
right.
Like how we did play. We're playing Small World. Like just let me like start up a game, and then at some point it pops up and says, "Hey, it's your turn." iOS games do that all the time.
Yeah.
Like that's what all these turn-based games need to embrace. So we can play it.
Years later, you guys will have finished a game.
Granted, that could be part of the problem, but I mean, the idea is you would be able to sync up on some nights and be able to play back and forth, but that just means you would be able to make some progress. Oh, this is great. It tells you the date that these were made.
Really?
I'm looking through their scenario list, which is just like single map, which already, I mean, there's an insane amount of content
There's a
here.
lot of, yeah.
Insane. Everything's 99 in 2000.
Yep. Remind me what all these symbols mean again? Like the flag and the tattered flag and the shields, the X's.
Yeah, that's just destroy all, defeat all enemies.
Oh, okay. Victory conditions.
Yeah, it's the victory and the loss condition. So some of them you can actually just acquire the artifact to win the game. One of them is to kill like a demon. Most of them are just kill everybody, but it's cool that there are some different ones.
Right.
And the AI I remember being pretty damn decent too.
It is,
considering it's pretty fucking hard to program an AI for a game like this.
Right.
And something that I thought I was most disappointed with, like Heroes 5 and 6, the Ubisoft ones, which they aren't bad. I actually haven't played Heroes 6. I haven't heard great things about it, but Heroes 5 was basically just Heroes 3 in 3D, which should have been amazing, but there was just something missing.
Right.
Alright, for the purposes of this, let's just start a random map. Medium. 3 players is probably good medium.
Yeah.
Let's do normal everything. Advanced options. I want to be the color blue, but I'm going to do random everything else.
Oh.
I don't even know what I'm going to be.
Oh.
Have you played much with the random maps? That was kind of towards the end of the game's lifespan, I think.
I don't know if I did or not. I may have played a couple of the random maps.
And right now, I'm actually running it with the HD mod, which I linked to in the retrospective piece. But it lets you play it in windowed mode and also in multiple resolutions, which can be very useful because the game's base is 800 by 600, and it'll just stretch it and make it look kind of shitty if you don't have another way of doing that.
Yeah.
Looks like I'm dungeon. The dungeon. Everybody likes the dungeon.
Dungeon was pretty good. Troglodytes and...
Coolest creatures.
Yeah.
Just for somebody that just liked fantasy shit, like this game had a lot of cool fantasy shit.
Oh, yeah. This game introduced me to a lot of fantasy shit. I didn't know what troglodytes were before this game.
That's probably true, yeah. Manticores, like harpies.
Yeah.
Like, unless you were...
A lot of more obscure fantasy references that I didn't... I learned about them through this. I mean, I think there were some basic ones that I learned through this one. I think I learned what a phoenix was through this game.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Red dragons, Medusas, beholders. They actually got away with calling them beholders. We were just having this conversation the other night about whether D&D had copyrighted the name beholders.
Yeah, I always thought they did. How they got away with it? This guy looks way cooler. Meteor shower. Man, old school paper doll. That always makes me feel good when a game's got the paper doll inventory system.
You can turn the music down anymore, Eric. I would suggest you do it. I don't know how far it can go down, but
is it super duper loud?
It's pretty loud.
Yeah, I can turn it down. I really like the music. It's at its lowest setting right now while still being on, so I can go ahead and turn it down. It's it's either like this quiet or off. Like this is the quietest, so you can imagine how loud it gets.
Oh well. Yeah, it's pretty. It's the music swells and dips, and when it swells, it is as loud as us. So
I want all the evil eyes. Oops.
Evil eyes.
Oh, I want all of them. Oh, it defaults to all of them. All right. Give me all of your guys. man, it's so much more boring without the music. See, I already have a strategy. Hire multiple heroes, get one guy super strong, let him go take care of business.
It's all coming back to you now.
Yeah, look at that nice fog of war, little spacey specks in him.
So, if I remember correctly, the unupgraded beholders were melee guys, but the upgraded ones had a range attack, right?
No, I think they could both do.
Oh, really? They can both
They
do
just
it?
got
Okay.
stronger. Ooh, I learned Lightning Bolt. That's a good one. Lots of Walking Dead.
Oh, boy. Straight Walking Dead.
Can we take... Yes, combat already.
I love how busy this map is.
It is. There's so many just neat shit on the map.
Yeah, there's stuff everywhere.
Wow, they're all in one giant stack, too. It's fantastic. I remember they had to patch this game. I don't think it came with a wait button originally.
Oh, really? You had to move your
I
guys?
think so.
You know, I don't guess these guys are sprites. I mean, they're... Or well, they are too. They're just sort of done in a non-sprite looking way.
I mean, they're higher quality, but
Right.
they're definitely not 3D models.
Right, yeah.
Oh, I don't want to engage you yet with the troglodytes. You know what? I should just actually run back to my ranged guy, shouldn't I?
Troglodytes are level 1s, and undeads are level 2s, I believe. They're above skeletons.
Yeah, we're just gonna surround the evil eyes, let them continue to shoot them.
Yep.
I know how this works. Walking Dead, you're so slow and terrible. In fact, I don't even know if you can get to me still. 3, yeah, I think you can now. Everybody wait. Oh, can't wait no more. Can I wow, he comes with Meteor Shower. Holy crap.
Nice.
Alright, so I should just do a lightning bolt. No, troglodytes dying left and right.
They can't
That
withstand
sucks when they're in one
zombie
giant
horde.
stack like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can take the retaliation. Such a simple formula. Just each match is like a little chess battle with units on either side.
Yeah. Yeah. You go in and do whatever you can do.
And especially going back to this after playing like King's Bounty is kind of a bummer because King's Bounty, every single creature has at least one special ability. So it's like the battles
really?
become like way more strategic and cool. The new King's Bounty ones.
Right.
Wow, a horde of skeleton warriors? I don't think so.
Mm.
Whereas this one, it's just kind of use the creatures as they are. But even then, there's still a lot you can do.
You mean special abilities in terms of an extra thing they can do, not
Yeah,
just
like active
passive?
abilities that they can do
Oh,
on the
okay.
field. Yeah, did you ever play the new King's Bounty ones?
I played the first new King's Bounty for a very little while, like 3 hours.
Okay.
And then I realized I had like 50 hours ahead of me. I was like, I didn't
They're
really want to
long.
commit.
Yeah, and the weird thing
Yeah.
is they still have like the high score screen at the end, which is like to make you think like you can play through it a bunch of times, but it's literally a 50-hour game. Like,
Yeah, there's not much chance of you playing through
I
it
mean,
multiple
I
times.
love that game, but man, it's tough to play it like more than once. To the windmill. Oh, Cyclopses. Those are probably too strong for me.
Hmm.
I don't like my starting area at all. I've got to defeat these horde of skeleton warriors now. Holy shit.
Oh boy.
Already? To go down this way. But this is just a random map. Like, literally just generated this. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
this looks,
I mean-
like, pretty good.
The game did a great job of just filling the world in with stuff.
Yeah. Especially by Heroes 3. I mean, Heroes 2 did a great job with that. In Heroes 3, they just iterated on that. And they knew exactly how to do it. Do we go all creatures or go all money?
I know what I would pick, but...
What are you picking? All creatures?
All creatures.
Yeah.
Balls to the wall. Always.
Maybe. That gets you a good early start, but...
Yeah.
Although Medusas are good because they're ranged, so I'll go ahead and build those.
Yeah. Chapel of Stilled Voices.
Torasar. Yeah, they changed it where... I remember there was a patch that came in because one of the easiest, best strategies you could do in the early game was to spend all your money hiring heroes because you could just combine all their creatures into one, like, really strong starting army and then have a bunch of heroes, like, that can go grab shit. But...
Wow.
They patched it to where after the first initial 2 you hire, every hero after that only comes with one basic dude. So you couldn't do that anymore. I don't even think I need more than one at this point. There's so much good text too. A lot of times when you would come across things that have a little story that would pop up, I would tell you.
Yeah, absolutely. They were all just little, like, you know, random encounter things. You would happen upon peasants being attacked by skeletons.
Yep.
those are always fun.
That's right, those troglodytes are awed by the power of my forces.
Ah.
Let them go, men. They're troglodytes. I'm not going to take those skeletons on, though, I'll tell you that. What is down here? More troglodytes. It's such a cool, from just an exploring point of view, and for, like, turn-based combat, like, this game had everything that I loved.
Yep.
And it's a shame that the series peaked with Heroes 3.
That is a shame.
Build manticores?
But where would you have gone with it though? Like if we're in charge of making Heroes 4.
That's a good point. I mean, I don't know what.
Can you just keep going bigger and adding more stuff?
Yeah. I mean, try to maybe rebalance things a little better. Because you had 9 factions, so maybe try and add a 10th faction.
Yeah. I mean, Heroes 4 tried to go the other direction. I feel like Heroes 4 decided Heroes 3 was had too much stuff.
Sure.
So it was like we're gonna scale back and bring it back to like core, but it did that way too much, and the game ended up being far too simplistic.
Mm-hmm. The Medusa story, I think I actually have to fight Medusas. I don't think I want to do that.
Right.
Battle-scarred warrior offers to teach you his trade. A horde of infertile troglodytes. That could be tricky. Oh, he can't. Oh, because he can't reach. Ah, fuck it. Let's do it. If we die here, we're screwed. Everyone, jump on the evil eyes. They will save us.
Will they?
Maybe. They can kill. Wow, kill 5 troglodytes. Ranged attackers were so godlike in this game too, which made some factions just way better than others.
The ones that had the high level ranged attackers.
Yeah, like Titans was insane.
Titans, yes. Titans were pretty amazing. What was always frustrating was a combo of like coming against Titans when you had like behemoths or something. Mm-hmm. And they could just wail into you as you're walking towards them. It's like, well, this sucks.
Yeah. Oh, we lost a bunch there. I realized I could reach me. Go, harpies. Yeah, a lot of the just random battles are about minimizing losses. It's usually you're smart enough not to,
Right.
if you're familiar at all with the game, not to engage guys. They're a lot stronger.
Yeah.
And then the real trick comes from fighting all the heroes.
Right. Although when you're playing against other people, it's a little bit different. But in single player, I do remember that you could kind of break it down into just turtling until you had, infinitesimal amount of guys. Like you would always get to a certain point where you had 3 or 4 castles, and you could just
Yeah.
build armies with those, and you would just turtle until you had insanity on your side.
Yeah. I think there was something you could try and rejigger with the balance, and maybe try and make it so the game doesn't, like, I don't know, streamline the process somewhat without dumbing it down, I guess. But that's so
Right.
like easy to say, hard to do.
Yeah, exactly. What does that actually look like when you're doing it?
Yeah. To this water wheel. The obelisk. Show me where the Grail is. That was a new thing they had in Heroes 3, was you could find this super Grail
Yes.
with the
Find
cool little jigsaw
the
puzzle.
clues. Yeah, exactly. You could see clues about where it was at.
Reveal tiles.
And even then, the clues would just show you a picture. You still had to find that spot on the map.
Yeah.
So I always thought that was pretty cool.
That was
And
cool.
the
You actually did feel like
the
you were
jigsaw-
searching,
Yeah.
or like
And
deciphering
the
a
jigsaw
map.
puzzle was also only it had nothing on the map. It was just the terrain. So like if there was like castles and creatures in that area, you could get
Right.
confused and not know that's actually where you're looking at.
Yep. This guy's just ferrying dudes. Bring me Medusas. There's a few little subtle things that the mod does. Occasionally, when you go and do those things, normally things that would pop up and do and have a little story, and you have to hit OK, it actually just puts it in the lower right corner now. If you've noticed, like whenever I did the
Oh, really?
obelisks, it just appeared down there instead
Yeah.
of popping up. So it does some nice little things.
That's interesting. Saves you the time of having to click OK on every
Yep.
one of those.
It do. Let's get more trouble. Yeah, just wait. Burn curse. Alright, you are gonna take all the harpies and upgrade them.
Super harpies, what are they called?
Harpy queens or something? Nags, maybe?
Ah,
I don't
right.
know.
Yeah.
Because I remember their upgrade means that they cannot be retaliated against, I believe, which is awesome.
Right.
Harpy hags.
Harpy hags.
The hags! Give him all your hags.
I'll take them all. I have no self-esteem.
Knowles, you wanna battle me? You fool. You know what? That's one thing I would have done is I would have done what King's Bounty did, and I would have given each, or at least some or most creatures, abilities to be used in combat. So I would have made combat a lot more dynamic and strategical. Which, yeah, you need to play those new King Bounty games. So I think they do a fantastic job of making all the different creatures like you have mage guys that have like their own like set of spells that they can do.
Oh,
Instead
yeah.
of, which they did a little bit of that here. I think they had guys that could cast limited spells, but
Right. Most of their abilities were passives, though.
yeah. So I think she can attack, and then then you can't retaliate, and then she just flies back. That's awesome. Dungeon guys.
That's
are
pretty good
strong.
ability. Yeah.
Knowing which upgrades you had to get first. Paramount. Like, I think it was elves that can attack twice when they get upgraded, so that's instantly like the first upgrade you want.
Right.
Foolish
Were elves
gnolls.
the wizard?
Elves.
Were they?
No, they were the. There was an elf town. The Rampart.
Oh yes, yes.
And their own
Who's all
town.
in the rampart?
Oh,
I think that was
confused
probably
me.
my least used because I remember them, but I don't remember them well.
So what was your jam for Heroes 3?
My jam mostly was Wizard Town.
Wizard Town.
Wizard Town if I wasn't going like straight evil. Wizard Town for good guys, Necromancer for bad guys. I love the Necromancer, just because it was just an asshole sort of tactics.
Necromancer was not my initial favorite, but after I played the game for a long time, quickly became my favorite.
Yeah.
I fucking loved Necropolis. Like, and the only bad thing is you really had to go just straight undead
Yeah.
because it just destroyed your morale with all the other creatures, which was a cool system. I thought you
Right.
couldn't combine guys too much unless you had the proper skills. But the undead town alone, like the skill that you could just literally churn guys into skeletons and raise skeletons every battle.
Yeah.
They only had
Yeah,
the
exactly.
one. They only had the one ranged guy, but he was really good. The liches. They did that area effect attack.
The liches were
It was
great.
fantastic.
Yes.
Alright,
I'm looking at the towns now, and most of the good ones I did not like. There's the castle, which is just humans and humans.
Just boring.
Yep, griffins and angels. Super boring.
Yeah.
Stronghold, which was all right. That was the barbarian, goblins, orcs, giants.
Yeah, I like them.
They're all right.
They weren't exciting, but they were very like fast, I guess, and offensive, except for the behemoths.
Yeah. Right.
Not as fast.
There's Fortress, which was the swamp people. I like them. I remember liking them. The gnolls and the hydras and the like those like some kind of flying snake creatures.
Yeah. Serpent flies or something.
Right.
Expert scan, alright.
We're doing dungeon, which is just straight like evil
Dungeon's pretty great.
fantasy creatures. Topping out with the dragons. Acropolis is undead. Pure undead.
Pure awesome. Let's see, I never picked up the gold.
And
back.
Sandro was always my favorite character too. If I could get Sandro, I was going to be Sandro.
Yeah. He had his own campaign in Shadow of Death.
That's right. I don't think I ever played it, but I remember that.
You know, by the time Shadow of Death came out, I know that my heroes playing had slowed a lot to where I never actually got Shadow of Death. I got it from a friend who also was into Hero. I don't think it was you. Somebody else had got
Right.
it. Like, he had got the complete edition. I just installed it on my computer. Back when you could do these things, when games were physical.
Right.
And, whoa, Dimension Door. And I played a little bit of it, but I never really played much of the campaigns, and that's always something I wanted to go back and try.
Yeah.
And in fact, I actually own the Heroes Chronicles on Good Old Games, which is like this weird spin-off that was the Heroes 3 engine, and it was just its own campaign, and you would buy them like almost like episodic content, I think. And it was really,
really?
bizarre to do it back in that day, but that's because Heroes 3 was so popular, and it was kind of, you could just make shit in the editor.
Right.
And yeah, they made these like Heroes 3 campaigns with this like one hero that like reincarnated different factions or something.
That okay.
I need to try it.
Yeah.
Because I did buy it for like a couple bucks or something at one point. But I know my playtime peaked around the time Armageddon's Blade came out because I did play
Right.
almost all those campaigns and really loved
I
that
played
expansion.
a lot of Armageddon's Blade. I
Yeah.
loved the conflux, the
Yeah,
elementals.
they did a whole new town, which was cool.
The whole idea of the magic elementals blew my mind a little bit. Like, there's a universe inside their cloaks, and they all just make people look at it, and it drives them insane. The whole idea was like, that's so cool. And then I've seen
Yeah.
it a million times since then, but at the time, it was amazing.
Absolutely.
Almost like a Lovecraft sort of idea.
Yeah, the Might and Magic franchise is basically fantasy, but it actually does have some sci-fi crap in there. Like, I'm pretty sure the demons are actually like from another dimension or something.
Right.
It's kind of nuts.
I think so. And then is it Heroes 4 that actually has them going to a different like universe? Like the original universe is destroyed?
It is.
That's how they
Yeah,
explain?
it is. It's destroyed, and they go. Well, I think in Heroes 2 and 3, I think are different lands on the same world, because Heroes 2 is Enroth, and Heroes 3 is Arathia.
Okay, yeah.
And then Heroes 4, yeah, this world is basically destroyed, and they all go through like a portal and enter a new world.
Ah,
And then Heroes 5, when Ubisoft took it, they just completely rebooted like the whole franchise and created their own world, I think.
right.
Which I don't know if they're... I never played their Might and Magic Legacy. I don't know if that one takes place on that same new world of Ashen or Sean.
That's a good question. Yeah. The actual mythology of Might and Magic is so like I've never been able to understand it myself. It's a little too convoluted.
Yeah, I don't think it worries about... I don't like either of these skills, damn. I don't think it worries too much about trying to have a coherent story.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm able to just have all these guys flee from me, so I guess I did a good job at the beginning, or it just randomly gave me a bunch of weak guys at the start.
Yeah.
I will take advantage of it. The only guys I have to fight are zombies.
Because they don't have fear. Zombies aren't afraid of you.
That's true. The other thing I would take, man, I keep praising King's Bounty a lot, is the fact that in King's Bounty, the new King's Bounty games, when you fought a stack, you actually had, there were like mini armies of different types of guys. They weren't just that stack. So you actually had to fight different creature makeups. Whereas this one, if it's a random stack, it's just that creature. So if it's, something slow or something you can exploit, then it's way easy going into it. Whereas with the King's Bounty games, you always had to deal with some kind of little mini army, and that could be interesting.
So like a stack of zombies would have mostly zombies, but it might have some archers too.
Yeah, it could have its own little army, but essentially.
Right.
That's definitely something that... Yeah, I think they really could have made a Heroes 4 that was basically just Heroes 3 with some new, cool, like, gameplay improvements, especially just to the turn-based combat side. Maybe just rebalance some of the stuff.
Yeah.
Have some even better multiplayer and just keep up with the high-quality, like, maps and content and stuff, and, man.
That would
But
work for you.
alas, 3DO was circling the drain.
Yeah. They went a different direction.
It's interesting that Heroes even survives nowadays in a somewhat different form, but... Basic archery, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a genre it's around a whole lot anymore in general.
Yeah, that's true. These kind of games are more popular, I think, in European countries and Russian countries than in America. never understood why that is. America got really obsessed with like first-person shooters and that kind of style of game.
Things.
Yeah. And we're more console-based, whereas European were much more older style games and much more PC-based.
Right.
Little sound effects for everything. I mean, all that just the little stuff is fantastic.
Right.
So this is, I'm guessing, my side of the map. Let's get a good look at everything.
The game just looked good too. It's very colorful.
Yeah. Yeah, I really dig the art style. There's no enemy heroes near me. There's underground. That was something Heroes 3 added as well. The whole underground maps. It was like a map on top of a map, which was so cool.
That was pretty great.
Like, these maps are twice as big sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Ooh, gold mine. Lots of master gremlins. Oh, I can't get there though. I have to go around. Oh dear. And there's fire elementals there and imps there. Alright, let's go back this way. There's so much gameplay here. I mean, this is just a randomized map, and you could just keep doing this.
Do it for a while, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm totally into it right now. Like, I'm not just playing this just to talk about it. I'm really enjoying.
I could play this for hours.
Yeah, that's the dangerous thing. Ooh, specialty logistics. You'll be a fantastic scout. Advanced logistics, gunner. Man, I tell you, during the era of Morpegs, I would crack open my Heroes 3 manual and go through the list because they listed every single hero in that game and like what skills they had, but they all had really cool fantasy names.
Yep.
And I would use like half of them naming all my different heroes.
Right.
These are all cool. Wow, I have no money though. Next week is gonna be painful. In fact, I'll probably just keep you there and haul creatures up. Oh, somebody just came through the portal. Red player.
Oh boy.
He's got a few guys.
Finally seeing the enemy.
Yeah.
How many people are on this map? 3?
There's 3, although there's an underground, so the map could be bigger.
Mm.
Actually, I don't think I can actually get near him now. Fight the imps. I have a feeling we're gonna have to fight the Ifrit Sultans, though. How powerful are Ifrit Sultans? They're pretty strong.
I don't even remember those guys.
I think they. Oh shit! They can fly across the whole map. Holy shit! This is terrifying.
Those are wizard guys. They have great genius. Yeah.
Are they? Ifrit Sultans? Are they not Inferno?
Or maybe they are Inferno. Maybe they're like the. Okay, they might be Inferno actually.
He just flew right across. Well, I don't know. I don't know if it tells you. He hates genies, so I'm guessing he's not.
Okay, they're like the opposite of genies.
They're evil genies. Shit, I did not know they could just fly across. That's terrible.
All the way across the map. Yep.
Alright, can we meteor storm these assholes? I do have a good meteor storm. Suck it. That did some damage at least. Now, Medusas are awesome because they have no melee penalty and they have Stone Gaze, so they're pretty much the best range unit ever.
Yeah. You can always just turn into melee if they need it, if they need to.
Shield too. Wow, I couldn't even kill. Whoa, these guys have 90 health? So they are. Okay. I don't even have any guys that are that high. This could be very painful. It was like all low-level guys, and all of a sudden these guys came up.
Yep. This is also part of the older style of gaming where this is the kind of thing the game expected you to know.
Yeah.
Because it gave you a manuals. So it's like, all right, dude, we're gonna put these guys in the game. If you don't know they're above your level, it's your own fault.
Yeah, and it did have a tutorial, which was impressive. I remember it had, which was not necessarily a common thing. This, instruction manuals were designed. Oh, shit.
Right.
To really like walk you through everything. I am getting my absolute ass kicked.
This guy gonna die.
It's not looking good. Let's see. Is it worth cursing these assholes? How much damage do they do? 16 to 24. Yeah, it's worth cursing them. The spell will affect no one because they're immune to fire, and that is a fire spell. Fucking Ifrit Sultans, son of a bitch.
Yep.
I'm in over my head. Alright, well, let's wait
Ifrit hordes.
on you. Let's have you attack. Hopefully kill him. Nope. Can't even kill one Ifrit Sultan. 30 ass troglodyte bitches. Oh, damn. Oof. God, their fire shield does an insane amount too. I wonder how much damage that's doing. The one nice thing that the Heroes 5 did is it had a little thing in the corner that would tell you exactly the turn order. Instead of this one where I'm just totally guessing and I have no idea who's going to go next.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Fuck. We might not survive this. It's going that well. That guy had one life left. Fantastic. Can magic arrow. No, I can't magic arrow. I can't magic arrow? That's air. Come on. They're just immune to all that shit. I don't have any. I'm a warlock. I only have like destructive abilities and haste. That doesn't really.
Right.
Bloodlust, I guess. Let's bloodlust my troglodytes.
Do it.
Wow.
So angry.
Wow. Oh, nice. I moved the archers and then got the moral bonus to hit him again. Thank God. Yep, dead. Alright, 36 is almost a waste, but if I kill him, that's the lamest thing. If I kill him, their fire shield still goes off.
Huh. Does it really?
Yeah. I guess technically I still have to attack him to do it, so. This is gonna, if I win this, it's going to be very close.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm going to use him to take the initial retaliation. And then I'll use the troglodytes to attack him. Brutal. Brutal. Ifrit Sultans. Oh god, so terrifying.
I don't remember what level they are. They must be pretty high.
They've got to be pretty high. They've got 90 health and do 16 to 24 damage.
Yeah.
So that's got to be at least tier 5. Oh, fuck. It's my 30... Okay, I think I've got this one.
Really?
I lost basically everything, though.
Yep. Yep, you did.
Oh, my gosh.
Your troglodytes will survive.
I survived with 17 troglodytes.
That's insane.
Yeah. Who's the real winner here?
Mm.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm glad we got to see one brutally punishing fight after like so many like nothing fights.
Yep.
So that was the guy designed to keep me in my own zone, I guess. Now I've opened the path for all the enemies to come destroy me.
Come, enemies.
Lord. All right, well, we're going on almost an hour for showing off Heroes 3. Is there anything else you want to mention for the good times we've had, or thoughts about the game or the series?
I mean, it holds up surprisingly well, right? I mean,
It really does. Yeah, I mean, other than
it's
the resolution,
yeah,
which there, like I said, there's an HD mod. Just search Heroes 3 HD mod, or follow the link at the on the Leviathyn site. Check out the gaming retrospective on Heroes of Might and Magic 3. It helps run it at those resolutions, but it obviously just makes everything super tiny. Like all the interface just gets
right.
really tiny, which is kind of a problem that a lot of older games have to do. They just didn't really anticipate or have obviously the support for higher resolutions back then. So
Right. Yeah. They didn't need to.
they didn't need
Monitors
to.
only went up to 800 by 600 at
Yep.
best.
I remember
They
originally
were square monitors.
Diablo 2 only ran in 640 by 480, and it wasn't until I think either they patched it or the expansion came out that it actually ran in 800 by 600, and that was in 2000. I remember that.
Huh. Yeah.
So yeah, they were still like pretty low then. Yeah, other than the resolution thing, and like I said, there's mods and stuff to work around that. Like it absolutely still holds up. The 2D graphics still look fantastic, and it's fun too. I mean, it's an actual art style that makes it really bright and just fun to like look at this map and see all the neat shit on here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I wouldn't want this world in 3D. I think it would look more junky. Like I just like the 2D aesthetic that it has.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think that contributes to the aesthetic.
Yeah.
Is it's sort of like just well done pixeliness.
Mm-hmm.
I miss the old days of like really solid terrain textures that repeated ad nauseum.
They were pleasing and comforting.
Yes, they were. There's something. Maybe it's just pure nostalgia, but I like them a lot.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, if you enjoy the Heroes series, obviously Ubisoft still has their Heroes series out. I'm not a huge fan of those. I think they're okay. I think Heroes 3 is still by far the best one of all those, without even being close.
Yeah.
But definitely check out the King's Bounty series, which is the first one came out in 2008, and I believe they've done 3 now. And I actually haven't played the latest one. I heard the biggest complaint was it's more the same. I was like, well, that sounds pretty great actually. They are different. They're the same kind of basic structure with an overland map and then the turn-based combat, and you've got armies of dudes, but you're not managing like kingdoms or resources. It's just basically collecting dudes along the way. And it's super long. The map's gigantic, and it's like a 50-hour game. But if you like this style of game, they're really, really good. And I think they're pretty super cheap on Steam. I believe the last one came out maybe 2012 or 2011.
Yeah.
But definitely worth picking up. Good Steam sale games to get for sure.
Right. Definitely.
Yeah, so Heroes 3, latest gaming retrospective, and happy birthday, Heroes Might Magic 3, because you turned 15 years old today, and you absolutely enraptured teenage me and teenage Chris back in the day with dial-up modems and playing hot seat multiplayer and enjoying the hell out of some turn-based strategy. Good stuff. All right, well, Chris, thank you for joining me tonight for some Heroes 3 retrospective nostalgic goodness.
That's right. Thank you for reminding me how awesome this game was.
Yep. It reminded me, the Twitter account on the Might and Magic game was doing a whole thing this week. In fact, definitely check out Ubisoft site. Credit to them. They didn't make Heroes 3. They've got it under their library now, and obviously they sell it. But they're doing a whole nice little retrospective thing. They've got interviews with some of the programmers that worked on the game and the art directors and all that, and it's pretty interesting. I always liked reading those, so definitely check out the little anniversary thing they got going on there. You can follow Chris on Twitter at SerialViewer. He's our entertainment section writer at Leviathyn. You can follow me, Eric Watson, at Rogue Watson on Twitter. I'm the PC editor over on Leviathyn. So thank you guys for checking out some Heroes 3 with us. And definitely stay tuned to Leviathyn TV on Twitch and on our YouTube channel for more awesome, always entertaining gameplay videos. Alright guys, see you later.